Welcome to this episode of Star Wars Declassified, where we look into different facts and stories revolving around the Star Wars canon universe and lore. On this episode of Star Wars Declassified, we'll be taking a quick turn back through time and looking at Luke Skywalker's love life on Tatooine, or should we say, therefore lack of, and instead focusing on his first crush. Growing up on a sparsely inhabited desert planet on the Outer Rim, there weren't exactly that many people around his isolated moisture farm. And the few that did live nearby, well, let's just say they weren't exactly dating material. With the exception, of course, of Camie Marstrap. Camie, the only girl in Luke's friend group, was also the only girl he always had a crush on since he could remember. However, given the lack of other young dateable female candidates in the area, it's no surprise that he wasn't the only one who felt this way for her. In fact, he was one of many who did. This was because Camie was considered to be the most beautiful girl from all the way between Anchorhead and Mos Eisley. So unsurprisingly, every man and boy showed some kind of interest in her. However, that didn't stop Luke from continuing to pursue her despite all the competition. Interesting enough, he even went as far as thinking dried sweat looked good on her. That's just how infatuated he was of her. Unfortunately, Camie didn't share those feelings back to Luke. She never saw little Luke as boyfriend material, and instead gave him the embarrassing nickname Wormy. Rather than ever want to date Luke, she started dating Fixer, who was another one of Luke's friends and even ran Tosche Station, which was a popular spot for Luke and his friends to hang out at. Fortunately, Luke completely forgot about Camie the day he discovered Princess Leia's transmission to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and was completely captivated with Leia's beauty. With that came the call for adventure, and Luke's time on Tatooine came to an end, along with any more daydreaming of Camie, as Luke found Leia even more beautiful than he ever did with Camie, and figured he'd do even better with a princess instead. Things even got to the point where he'd start getting jealous when Han Solo started showing interest in her as well, hoping that it would be he who would win Leia over with the rescue, rather than the hired gun from the Mos Eisley cantina. However, we all know how Luke's 3-year pursuit of Leia had eventually ended. Just like Camie back on Tatooine, Leia had chosen someone over Luke, and this time for good reason. Because, can you imagine dating someone for a year only to find out that they were your brother or sister? Yeah, I thought so. And that'll do it for this episode. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and share it, along with subscribing to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars related content. And if you want to support the channel, do check out our Patreon page. Along, if you still want to continue the conversation, join us on the official SYLO Discord server. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.